I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Thursday.
Is Santa Trump coming to town? Free stuff for everybody.
Or was last night more of an airing of grievances?
Was it Festivus?
Festivus.
Yeah, what was
or
this?
was it classic Donald Trump, a little mix of both? A little airing of the grievances. Here's what I inherited. It's all Joe Biden's fault. But look how amazing I am. Santa Trump's got gifts for everybody. We want to hear from you because Donald Trump's about a year into the second term of his presidency. What do you think so far? I'm thrilled with a lot of it. I'd like to see some additional changes, but particularly the border. He hammered the border yesterday. The change that's taken place there, the deportation of 2 million illegal immigrants, fantastic. Getting this country back on track. What do you think? Donald Trump, a year into his second term, what grade would you give him? All of our kids are in finals right now, wrapping them up. Today's the last day for some of my kids. So if you were to give DJT a grade, what would it be? A+, young man. A+. Mr. Thorpe?
Oh, mine's much worse, honestly. It's Donald Trump notoriously gave himself an A++++ on the economy. I think there were 5 pluses in there, which is, that's a lot of pluses. Oh, God. On this so far, C-. C-, because I don't think we're
wow,
quite at a D.
I thought maybe you would have gone straight to the F. Way to be more reasonable. Of course, just giving them straight A+.
Well, the thing for me is that, I can't go D and I can't go F, but, as much as emotionally I might want to, but I've got to be reasonable and rational about this and also be intellectually honest. There are some positives and there are some things, especially like what we talked about with Norton Rainey last hour, the idea of that, basically a tax deduction for helping scholarship generation to allow kids to improve school choice. That's a good idea. Closing down the border, good idea. Other things like not understanding how math works, that's a bad thing. So C-. We'll go C-.
And would you rather have had a Kamala Harris first year presidency? What would have that look like?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now. While I would advocate for that during the election, I'm not convinced I would take that now because of her book and because of other things that I've seen. And it worries me because what I would think is that and you and I have talked about this and joked about this off the air, that we would have just gotten into a government where everything was supposed to be solved by setting up a commission. Yeah. And then we'll just wait to see what they say, and then we won't do anything about it.
Yeah. Right. And with all the fraud coming out of Minnesota under Tim Walz's watch.
That is a big concern, too. Yeah.
Fascinating. All right, phone lines open. Join the conversation. What did you think of the address last night? One of the things that stood out to me was how short it was, because I have sat in a lot of his rallies. He is not typically a 20-minute speaker.
No.
It is well over an hour. You remember when he was here in Aurora?
Yes.
And I ran out of, energy, and Bill had the classic dad move and basically pulled a soda out of his pocket.
Yes. It was magic. It was one of those things where Jeff's like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so hungry, thirsty, and he's like, do you need something? And I'm like, look, whoop. It's just that magic thing. Yes, I had an extra soda in my pocket. Yeah, the entire big bottle thing, too, not the liter, but the 16-ouncer, because I come prepared for those type of things.
So, want to hear from you. Conversations, phone lines open. Let's get into it. 8 a.m. hour, Jeff and Bill show. Here's the phone number, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Now is time for the president of the Candace Owens Fan Club, Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
And the next meeting coming up in 2 weeks.
Is she taking 2 weeks off?
It'll be just south of Elizabeth at a farm, an owner of a farm there in that area who's donating, the goat ranch for the meeting. So,
is she taking time off, or is she going to be back on today?
Oh, Man, she takes very little time off.
Yeah.
I give her a lot of credit. She's back on today, buddy. She is back on, and you should be one of the 500,000 listening and watching
It's
live.
fascinating because I will wait to catch the first few minutes because I'm in the car line grabbing the kids.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm thinking of making this video.
Oh, that's a great carpool podcast.
It is. Nick Fuentes did a video yesterday just ripping dads that are involved in their kids' lives. I'm thinking,
really?
yeah, right. Here's a guy who can't find any woman to marry him, and he's like, "You're helping your kids coach. You drive them to school. How terrible! What a weak beta male you are." And I was like,
I gotta watch that one. That was yesterday.
"Yeah, I think so." Anyways, it's blown up online.
I don't watch it, but I need
But
to watch. I
I
need to
clearly
watch that.
am not in the Nick Fuentes fan club because I actually help my wife drive the kids to school.
While you're in carpool lane,
Yeah.
you're listening to that. That's
Candace,
funny.
What a weird
That-
time to be alive.
That is funny. Well, it's 32 and sunny in Denver, expecting a high of 46 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
When one structure catches on fire, it's going to burn for a long time, and if we don't get it put out, and just the embers that will release over that time that it continues to burn can cause everything around it to catch fire, and then it just is compounding.
West Metro Fire's Aaron Johnson, losing electricity is bad, but fires are worse. Utility crews are still working to restore power in parts of Colorado where residents were hit with wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour last night. Most of it preventative with the electricity being out. Several school districts closed today due to lack of power, including the Boulder Valley School District. More than 24 Jeffco public schools will not have classes today. There may be a second round of this tomorrow, so get ready. Be prepared. DJT says he's achieved more than anyone could have imagined during his first year back in office. He said the economy is trending upwards during a primetime speech at the White House that lasted 18 minutes. I think the networks were going to go to their programs if he didn't cut it and make it under 20 minutes. 47 said car prices are down from what they were under Sleazy Joe, and they're working to lower the prices of groceries. And he's providing details on how the U.S. will celebrate its 250th birthday next year.
I pledge to give America the most spectacular birthday party the world has ever seen for America's 250th anniversary on July 4th next year.
47 said the celebrations will kick off with the Washington Monument being illuminated with birthday lights to ring in 2026. In the summer, the National Mall will host the Great American State Fair that will feature pavilions from all 50 states. The U.S. government admitting failures by the helicopter crew and FAA air traffic controllers in the deadly midair crash at Reagan National. The admission came as part of a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the widow of one of the victims in the January 29th crash. Inflation is cooling. The consumer price index rose by an annualized rate of 2.7 last month. That was against expectations of 3.1%. Police are still searching for the suspect in the shooting at Brown University in Rhode Island that left 2 people dead. Wednesday, Providence police asked for the public's help to identify a person who may have made contact with the suspect. A map was also released that details the streets where the man was seen just hours before he would open fire on Saturday. Dan Bongino says that he's leaving the FBI in January. He is probably sick to his stomach, that he can't break up the deep state in intelligence, more than likely, and can help more from the outside. That is sad and telling. And then Candace, here's more Jeff and Billy played this earlier on Piers Morgan. Here is Candace.
Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public I'm spewing bull. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation. And that is the reason why people are watching my show, because I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have two eyes and who believe in magic bullet theory and who understands that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly. Okay? They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going to end, but we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, nice try. It's not. It's you by saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of after JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA, we have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again. Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to. I am sorry to say this, Piers, people like you.
Yes, exactly.
There's a trial. Guys, there's a trial coming. This is all going to be put out there. All she does is jump around. She never closes the loop on anything. And yesterday, Blake, she said we're going all in on the Egyptian planes and that's where they're reacting the most. And has just totally moved on to whatever happened in Delaware. She spent entire episodes on Delaware and office buildings in Delaware, and now she's just like, whatever. Now it's the planes. She just moves on from one thing to the next. She's never accountable for anything.
We'll talk about the dogs next hour. Everybody loves dogs. And we'll talk about that one.
They're barking in Morse code.
All you Elbert County people, bring out those dogs. Come on. All right, it's 30 in Arvada, 29 in Highlands Ranch, 32 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Billy. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
As a Pacific storm system in front coming out of the Pacific Northwest rapidly moves into Colorado today, generally light winds to start the day will ramp up this afternoon, and conditions will get quite windy this afternoon, this evening, and overnight into early Thursday, especially along I-25 and west. To be ready for that, highs today will be mild, mid to upper 60s, then the wind up to 50 miles an hour in gusts, higher gusts in those foothill areas. There will be a small chance of a rain or snow shower this evening and overnight, colder tonight, a low near 30. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
This is Jingle Bell Rock. Originally, Bobby Helms. This is Hall & Oates' version. And it was interesting. It was released, Jingle Bell Rock's late 50s, but it was the first rock and roll Christmas song. And I always find it interesting because figure that this thing is bouncing up against White Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas, a lot of those slower, more dreamy type songs, the Christmas songs, stuff like that. And this hits and started an entirely new genre. You want to have some fun? Go look at Santa Claus Boogie. There's a band called The Tractors that has a really interesting version of taking on this idea of rock and roll Christmas. This is a cool one. But originally, Bobby Helms. This is Hall & Oates. But again, would you ever think that Hall & Oates would do a rock and roll Christmas song? I would have thought they would have done like White Christmas or something, honestly. I just thought that was surprising on a number of levels. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Trump statements last night. His speech, roughly around 20 minutes, which was surprising in itself, framed as a year-end results plus what's next. Core message, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it, and here are the receipts he had. One of the big announcements was the $1,776 Warrior dividend payment to about 1.45 million U.S. service members. It's a Christmas year-end bonus tied to tariff revenues. He also talked about the economy, cost of living, immigration and border, health care, and then politics in 2026. It's going to be a wild one this next year as we get ready for the midterm elections, because if Republicans lose control of the House of Representatives or the Senate, we're just going to be back into investigation time and impeachment proceedings. And that's pretty much all that's going to happen for the next 2 years. So Trump has a lot on the line. Do you think he can maintain control of the House of Representatives? And was his messaging right last night to focus in on the economy, cost of living, as well as immigration, border, health care? Were those the big issues that are going to be facing voters? And did he do a good job communicating yesterday? Bill, your thoughts on the address?
See, the thing is, one, I was wondering, I had to listen to it after I got home last night. So I first thought that I had on the wrong speed. I listened to a lot of things at time and a half or 2 times speed, and I thought, do I have the setting wrong? Because he was plowing through that thing, just blah. I was the speed that he went through it. I'm like, I think you're skipping some punctuation at times. It was an impressive speech for the gravity of the grievances. Then we talked about it yesterday, that this was just going to be a Festivus speech, that it was going to be, here's all the people that have harmed me, and this is why I'm not to blame. And that's the weirdest thing for me, is he is the president, yet I heard as the overarching theme in that speech, it's not my fault. And that's how he opened, was basically a phrase that says, it's not my fault. The other theme that I heard inside of it is, you guys just don't appreciate me enough. That you should really love me a heck of a lot more. You just don't. I kept hearing a lot of grievances about these people have just made this a mess. It's not my fault, but you all should love me so much more because I'm trying to fix this. And just some boneheaded suggestions. The Warrior Dividend, we talked about that earlier. That was the one and only new policy that we rolled out. Everything else was, Festivus. That's the weird part for me, is I'm not certain that the average voter or even a casual voter is necessarily persuaded by this, because I'm thinking of those people on regular broadcast TV that we know, Jeff, you and I live in a world, and most of the listeners in the show, where we are more in tune to what happens in politics. This may be the second or third time someone that is an average voter may have heard President Trump speak in this type of a formal setting at all since he's been elected, over the course of the previous 11 months. And I was trying to figure out, what do they take from this? Where is the message that I've got this in control, we're going to be able to get this done, in part because of the opening side that 11 months ago, that's where he opened with. And I think that's a very sticky phrase, because it's been 11 months. And this was someone that started his campaign on the idea that I can fix it day one. And if we're still talking about the problems 11 months down the road, this is for the average voter that's not paying attention. They're not seeing roadblocks. They're not seeing this. They're just looking at what was the previous election cycle and where we are now, and coming out and saying, I was the guy that said I could do X, Y, and Z day one, and we would be entering the great American golden age, and then coming out 11 months into it and saying, well, things are just such a mess. It's been 11 months, and I still can't fix anything yet. That's the part. That's what I kept hearing from it. It was a really weird message for me.
I totally disagree.
Oh, good. This will be fun.
Day one, it did change, particularly with the border. That was a great harken back to what it was like under Biden, where we don't even remember or believe that he was necessarily the president making the decisions at the time. But he put Kamala Harris in charge of the border issue. Remember, she was the border czar, and she put together a committee to explore the underlying issues within Latin and South America that were driving the border issue. Trump comes in and goes, shut it down. Day one, he gets it done. Illegal immigration has completely stopped as a result. They're having nobody come across the border. It's amazing. It was a refresher and a reminder to what he was able to do with a strong leader in the executive office. Joe Biden, again, wanted more laws. He wanted Congress to pass things, and Kamala Harris was going to put together a commission. It didn't need that. It needed strong leadership, a strong president. Donald Trump demonstrated that. He also had all the charts to show that the cost of living is getting better under his watch. Has he made some changes day one? Yes. Could he get it all done day one? No, but it's getting better. And we don't want to go back to the days of Democrat leadership. And that's going to be an important message going into 2026 and the election coming up. What do you think? Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Let's go to the phone lines. Joe Arvada, good morning. Joe, you're on with Jeff and Bill.
Hey, good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Jeff, Billy. Billy, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to call.
I kind of figured it'd get to you, man. I appreciate to hear from you. What's on your mind? Tell me this. What did you hear last night? And then two, what did I get wrong?
All right. Well, I'm gonna get to the. I did listen to it, and yes, it was. What do they say? Spasmodic, or what is
that
the
word? Yes, yeah.
What's the? He just drills it out. You know what it was like? It was like a Donald Trump board meeting, because what is happening is Donald Trump is tired of all the nonsense, and so he just spewed it all out in one long chain, and then all of the dingle-doings, I won't say what I want to say, will fight over what is right and wrong. And if you look just this morning, everything is blowing them into the ocean. It's just everything is coming up better. Okay, let me just say this. Yesterday, I gassed up. I'm a driver. So everybody talks about, the price of gas, the price of gas. I live the price of gas. I know what is going on when I fill up my tank. I filled up all this week under $2. I cannot tell you what a big difference that makes to people who are on the road.
Now, I got a question for you on that. I understand that, and the gas prices have gone down. Remember, Trump said he was going to cut our our prices. He was going to cut our energy prices by 50%, and that was going to be within, I think, a first year. So we still have a ways to go on where that is. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at what are the direct Trump policies versus OPEC easing their restrictions. Under Joe Biden, OPEC eased pumping by quite a bit. Now, we have increased our domestic production, I think somewhere around 2 to 3 million barrels a day or a week. Again, I don't know the numbers. It has increased, and that does help as far as gas prices. But what I'm seeing is more of an easement outside of OPEC because supply has been greater on the OPEC side than it was under Joe Biden. Now, again, Joe, give me one more second here. That could be in part because of how cozy Trump is with the Saudis and other people in the Middle East. So there could be a measure there. I'm not discounting that relationship being the reason that OPEC eased, but I don't see as many direct Trump policies creating that as I would expect personally. Not saying he's not responsible. I'm just saying I get questions that he's totally responsible.
Oh, please. Professor, all you have to do is go to the gas station to figure out what's going on. Remember,
that doesn't answer my question and my statements.
There was a little picture. Do you remember when you went to the gas station, everybody started putting a little picture of Joe Biden going, I did this, when it was $3.50 a gallon? Well, they should start now putting pictures of Donald Trump when it hits, and it's going to. I gassed up last week at $1.86 once. When it hits $1.75, half of what Joe Biden was doing, there should be a little picture of Donald Trump.
The stickers are cute, but it doesn't refute or address anything that I said about gas prices. But what did you like in the speech?
Because what you just said is meaningless. The end result is that gas has gone down, and it's going to drive the price of just virtually everything that you buy down.
But when OPEC restricted it, we blamed Joe Biden for the restriction on oil and the rising prices. So that's the only thing. I'm just looking for consistency, and it's okay. The stickers are cute, but
I'm working on a song that I will roll out next week. But I'll just give you a couple of lines. It's saying to the song Partridge in a Pear Tree, and I'm working on each line, and it goes something like, I'll give you just the middle lines. Donald Trump's a fascist. He's killing all the trees. Crime is going up. You are getting poorer. I haven't finished it, but and Donald Trump will start World War III.
Sounds like CNN.
That's a good one.
It's a song CNN would sing.
And we've got a song generated and created by Mark Crowley. We're going to do hopefully in the next break. I just couldn't get it queued up in time for the next break. For this break.
Santa Trump is here, and the gifts are flowing. Lower gas prices, 1776 dividends to the troops. Yeah. That's what we want. Kamala Harris back in power. My goodness. The Democrats wanting to get back in. It'll ruin it all. Enjoy Santa Trump and keep Republicans in office. I appreciate the call, Joe from Arvada.
Thanks, Joe. And happy holidays.
Stay safe out there, and Merry, Merry Christmas to you. All right, let's talk the gun room, folks. Wayne and the folks at the gun room are amazing. I love working with them. They're genuine, true Colorado people. They know firearms. They know safety. They take the time to walk you through what's right for you. So whether you're new to shooting, looking to expand your collection, or want expert guidance from people who actually care about you, the gun room is the place. Ladies, with the holidays coming up, I think it's too late to get anything on Amazon delivered in time. It's all coming so quick. I got the perfect solution for you. All right? If you've been wondering what to get your husband, dad, or the outdoorsman in your life, a gift card to the gun room is an absolute slam home run. Grand slam home run. Trust me on this one. Stop in, browse their selection of new and used firearms, or just ask a few questions. They love to help people. Give them a call. They'll pick up the phone. Here it is, 303-237-1300. 303-237-1300. And I want to talk to all of us out there who love our Second Amendment rights, want to support them. We know how difficult it's getting in Colorado right now. The libs coming up with rules and regulations for all the law-abiding people. For those that want to run a gun shop properly, it is now more difficult than ever, and a lot of gun shops are just closing up, heading up to Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, where it's just easier to do business. Those that are sticking around, like Wayne, a man of tremendous faith, a patriot committed to this Constitution. We got to support the ones that are sticking here and putting up with all these regulations so that we can continue to exercise our Second Amendment rights. Go to the gun room in Lakewood. Check them out at denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. All right, we'll continue with your phone calls and texts. What grade would you give Donald Trump? He did his end of the semester speech last night. And after his first year in office, would you give him A, B, C, D, F? Where do you fall along those lines? Text us on the Dan Campos Law text line, 720-819-5115, or call us at 303-696-1971. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
crowd wrapped in red, white, and blue, making promises bigger than the North Pole view. He's got a list, it's tremendous, they say. Best list ever made, believe me, okay. He says prices are dropping, jobs everywhere, factories humming, flags in the air. Santa Trump is coming to town. Gas is so cheap you won't believe the sound. Prices down, jobs all around. Santa Trump is coming to town.
That was created by Mark Crowley using AI. It's amazing. Oh,
It is. You
Isn't that
basically
cool?
just type it in and it spits it out a
Isn't it
minute
cool?
later.
Yeah, now Mark's dropped into it. He wanted an upbeat Christmas parody song. Classic holiday swing is what he was looking for. Male vocal delivery, confident, boastful, and inspired by the President Trump. That's what he put into the system. That's what he got out of it. Isn't that cool?
Santa Trump is coming to town. Gas under 2, economy sound. Factories back, flags unbound. Santa Trump is coming to town. 1776 for the troops. Best military,
so good.
no excuses.
This is good.
No loops. Strong like steel, sharp like a crown. Great it's Christmas, this country's found. Santa Trump is coming to town. Lots of jobs.
You know what the best thing about this is? All this
That's
AI
a
movie.
banger, Crowley.
Yeah, great. Crowley nailed it on this one. You know what the best thing about these things are? There's no copyrights. So we can run this on the YouTubes or run this anywhere we want. Don't have to worry about this getting bounced and getting a copyright claim. This is fantastic. Yeah, Mark Crowley outdid himself on that one. That is beautiful.
Santa Trump is coming to town. We're asking you all what you thought of his rare evening White House address delivered from the diplomatic reception room, running under 20 minutes last night. The core message, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. And he is, in many ways. The cost of living, the economy getting better, immigration and borders shut down. Yes, of course, the economy is getting better. Yes, he had all those charts, Bill. He had all the charts.
They're lies.
How
all
do
of
you
them.
know? What do you know?
Because I look at the economy and I look at the economics. I know the numbers.
I know the numbers. Is the word.
No, I know the numbers. He's just a lying liar who lies. That's what he did up there. He said that drug prices are coming down like 500-600%. That's impossible. Because if drug prices go down more than 100%, we get paid to take the meds. It's impossible. It's a farce. It's a make-believe list of wishes. But fair enough. You got 22 minutes to do it. That's okay.
True to Jeff and Bill's show form, we have text messages from folks like Jacqueline giving him an A+, and then 5364 an F-.
Ooh, that's harsh, but I can see that.
The F- going, gas, gas, gas. It's the only thing you have. Joe Biden created 17 million jobs. Trump has lost more jobs since the Great Recession, on par to meet the Great Depression. What?
That is an issue.
Get
the job
honest
loss.
and tell the truth about how bad this president is. It's 5364.
The anemic job numbers are something that the administration is going to have to deal with. You can't blame that on the previous guy. I mean, 11 months. And, I mean, you look at the math, there's an argument that the U.S. hasn't created a single job since April. That's significant.
No. All the jobs are now going to Americans that are here. He had the chart yesterday.
No, but he's
just
wrong.
Coming out with your own charts.
No,
going,
he's wrong.
He's wrong.
No, it's not. It's not our own charts. It's the numbers that come
you don't even have charts.
No. I could, but I just have to go to Kinko's or something like that and create them or generate them. I mean, the numbers are. I mean, we see the numbers from private, groups as well, and it's the job creation is zero basically since April. I mean, there's a little bit of movement up, but not much. It's basically flat, and that's significant, especially when we were talking about this being the golden age of America. It's not that there are a bunch of Americans getting jobs. In fact, we have an uptick of, 0.5 or 0.6 in the unemployment rate since January. And it does sound like a little bit like, oh, it's 0.5 or 0.6, not a big deal. The reason it is a big deal is primarily when you see an increase of unemployment by 0.5%, and you see inflation where it is, and you see wage growth stagnating, which it is right now. Those are all indicators of an upcoming recession. That's usually indicators of an upcoming recession. I'm
Wall
not saying it
Street
happens.
Journal was saying that we're not likely to enter a recession, and we've gotten tariffs wrong. That was the Wall Street Journal's article the other day.
Yeah, what did they say was right about tariffs?
Mr. Thorpe, I will point this, though, that when you end up with Democrats in office, the only job growth you have, like you see in Colorado, is with government jobs. In fact, in Colorado, you've had very little private sector growth because all the growth is in government. So when people like 5364 run out there and go, look at all the jobs that were created under Joe Biden, it's because they tax somebody else in order to funnel it through a nonprofit to pay somebody. It's a jobs program funded by the government. It's not actual jobs in my mind. Well, feel free to join the conversation. Would love to hear from you. 303-696-1971. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line. What is your grade of Donald Trump's first year of his second term? Now, you got to give him this, Bill. He's definitely had an agenda his first year vastly different than the first year of his first term. I don't think he had really any idea of what he was planning to do.
Oh, yeah. I would agree that he has a different agenda, but it doesn't make it better. I mean, that's not necessarily going to be a great thing because, General Custer had plans a whole bunch of times, but that last one, yeah. So it's not because you have different plans or new plans and it's always necessarily a positive. So that's kind of the issue. And I still want to know at the end of the 11 months ago, how much longer does he get to blame the other guy? How much longer? He talked about the idea, and again, lies. Talked about the idea that he inherited the highest inflation rate ever. It's not true. It was at right around 3%, 3.5%, maybe 4% when he got there.
Well, at the very end there, yes,
the end.
But under Biden's first few years, it was up near 11%.
No, it wasn't. It topped out at 9%.
Well, 9, but not 4.
But not 11. Hang on, not 11, but it was 4 when he passed it off, and that's important.
I was closer than you were.
It's no. I was closer. I was right. 4. It was 4% when he passed it off.
That's because you're picking like the day he left.
Well, that's important.
Without including all the other years that he was president.
So is Donald Trump right that the previous 11 months he can blame on Biden? Do you feel that's correct?
A lot of the issues he's had to deal with? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's better than most Democrats. Like what you have in Colorado is they actually create the problem, then say they're going to solve the problem.
Okay. So when Biden took office in December 2021, inflation was at 7%. Is that responsible to Trump, who was the previous administration?
That was in part because of the shutdowns, right? The COVID shutdowns? Yeah. Which I disagreed with Trump on.
But again, December 2021, we're at 7%. So we're at 7%. Now, over the course of the next few months, it's by June we get to 9%, and then it begins to fall. And what I mean by that is, if we look at what Biden would technically be responsible for, if we can wipe out the previous 11 months, Biden would then be responsible for a 2% increase in the inflation rate. If we can go back to the previous guy and say he's responsible, because that would be December of 2021, we're at 7%. That's 11 months into Biden's first term. So what we're looking at then is that Biden would just be responsible for a 2% increase. If it's true, we can blame the previous administration for messes for the next 11 months. If it's not true, and that you need to say, hey, once you're in the job, you got to start getting to work, then we can blame Biden possibly for those high inflation rates. But we then can't excuse Trump for this sort of failure. It creates this devil's choice.
Oh, you're tying yourself in knots. It
No, I'm
was
not.
so clear to everybody, okay? Everything got worse under Biden. Things are getting better under Trump.
They're not getting
it's
better.
So well, yes, it is.
No,
It's
they're not. Prices are
definitely
going
getting
up.
better.
There's no jobs. It's
We
inflation is
just
still
talked
up.
to Joe, who drives around and talks about how great the gas prices are.
I didn't say
so
gas.
You can't say that
I didn't say
nothing
gas.
is getting
No.
better.
I didn't say gas. And prices are up. Inflation's up. Grocery prices are up. We are having to bail out farmers yet again. There are a whole bunch of problems that are a mess here. This is it. Yeah, this is it.
Absolutely getting better. Join the conversation, 303-696-1971. And I just want to remind everybody that the alternative is committee leading Kamala Harris. That's what you would have had. A continuation of Joe Biden's presidency, which is just a continuation of Barack Obama's presidency. So it would have been Barack's fourth term with a lady that just likes to hold committee meetings.
Yeah, but the economic numbers were better under Barack. That's the issue. So if you want to have that, you might as well go for it. And the question I still remains on the table.
Goodness.
If we can blame the previous administration for those 11 months, then Trump owns at least a 7% inflation rate. He would own it.
303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. ILJ, you also have to consider your 401k has gone sky high. Gas has gone down. So you have to budget that into your budget of how things are going. Jacqueline, unemployment is encouraged by free welfare. When this is cut off, they have to go get jobs and they'll have to learn to feed themselves and pay their own bills. Gas is like $2.40 a gallon. Eggs are down under $2. Milk is down under $2. I live in a red state. She lives in Nebraska.
Yeah,
so maybe
that's
that's
the
the difference.
I don't think eggs are under $2. And again, it's not necessarily red state, blue state, because the red state, blue state, if you look at it over the course of the country, the difference in inflation is maybe 0.5 percentage point. And that, over the arching as far as purchases isn't necessarily significant.
Did you see Jared Polis taking credit for the cheap gas?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, he did a social media post talking about how great, under his leadership, gas is affordable in the state of Colorado. And I just want to remind everybody, he was also quoted by folks saying he's going to do everything he can to eliminate the oil and gas industry.
I wouldn't have taken credit for that. That's not good. But
Jarhead. All right, want to hear from you. We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS. I'm curious, Jeff, do you know this version of 12 Days of Christmas?
What? I've never heard of this.
Bob and Doug McKenzie? Listen to this.
Ah!
They don't do the whole song. This is hilarious. I love It's a Beer in a Tree. You don't know this, do you hoser?
I was going to say, this reminds me of my entire family in the Midwest. A beer.
This is so good.
From old Milwaukee.
Yeah, what number are we on here? Oh, we're almost done here. They get lost here. It's great. they cut off at 8. Now, you don't know Bob and Doug McKenzie?
I've never even heard
You
of
don't know
them.
the Great White North? No? Nobody knows? Hey, shout out to the fans in the audience that understand that one, eh? Yeah.
Is this a Saturday Night Live skit?
It's actually SCTV, which is the knockoff of Saturday Night Live that you had people like John Candy and others come out of.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rick Moranis.
Oh, yeah, Rick Moranis. Yeah, exactly. There's some great comedic actors that come out of it. Bob and Doug McKenzie were basically, they did The Great White North. And it was supposed to be a program that aired in Canada. And so it was all sorts of Canadian things that were supposed to go on. And they were brothers that would fight over stupid stuff. But it was always everything always came back to beer. It was fantastic. It's a great little sketch. If you haven't, go and explore it. But yes, Bob and Doug McKenzie. And I'm a little embarrassed that I still can do the little song that they do at the beginning of Great White North. But I still have it in my head. And I appreciate each and every one of you that did that thing with me as well as we do the beginning of Great White North. Yeah. But again, we can all agree now that Jeff's a hoser, eh?
Hey! You're not alone. Phone lines lighting up to agree with you. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. We're talking Trump's address last night, as well as his first year in office. Mary from Wyoming texting in, jobs that were created under Biden were taken by illegals in the meatpacking, construction, and trucking industries. Hospitalities, because they pay less. Laid off citizens increased the unemployment figures. Mary, it's very important. You're exactly right that a lot of that job growth under Biden was going to illegals. And it's what you see in Colorado, where when Democrats get in control, the job growth that takes place is funneling tax dollars into NGOs that are made up of their buddies. I mean, Colorado had reports of this, I think it was last year, where nearly all the job growth was in government. None of it in the private sector.
Got a question then. How are all these illegal aliens getting jobs in the government?
I mean,
because,
you mean like
what I'm asking
with
is here
NGOs?
because Mary's starting off with the idea that it was all illegal immigrants, and you said illegals, not immigrants, but illegals. That was the majority of the job growth, and then we turned to the government being the majority of the job growth. So is it the illegals getting the government jobs, or
Probably
what is
both.
it? How are the illegals?
Both.
How are the illegals getting the government jobs?
Oh, under Democrats? Because
no, just in
they
general.
Falsify their documentation.
But then how much falsification of documentation is there? I mean, are we really thinking that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of illegals falsified their documents over the course of the years? I mean,
hundreds? I'm going with millions.
No, I said hundreds of thousands because it would be month by month.
I'm going millions.
Had false documents.
100%.
Really? Then why are we showing up at the Home Depots and all the other stuff? That's the thing. And then we've talked about the idea that we found the illegals working at meatpacking plants and stuff, not because they showed up with illegal documents, because they didn't check and they didn't care. So that's the idea, is if the government, that you'd have to assume that the government then turns around and starts employing all these illegals, and then the government doesn't check who they are. Again, there's a circle here that if we peel back a little bit, it doesn't seem to make sense. There was a large growth under the immigrant population as far as job growth, but that's existent over the course of the history as far as America. That's how most of the time the workforce expands, more times than not in our history. It's not necessarily that unusual. And again, illegal immigrants aren't all immigrants.
And that pushed wages down?
Not necessarily.
Of course.
But wages aren't going up now without the loss of this. That's the other part.
They are.
No, they're not. Not really.
Yes, they absolutely are.
No, they're not.
And it was
not going up.
And you're expecting them to record these jobs, that they're going to be reflected in data. No, a lot of this was paid under the table as well. So what
then
you got
be in the data.
What you got?
It wouldn't be in the data then. You wouldn't have the job growth under Biden if this was under the table, and it wouldn't be in the data. That's the problem in this argument.
No, I think it's both and. And here's what you get with Democrat control, okay? You get a prioritization of illegal immigrants, which we're going to talk about next hour, with a mayor that's willing to go out there and confront ICE, right? So you get a prioritization of the experience of the illegal immigrant coming to America. You saw it with Mikey Johnston as well. We're going to put money, we're going to put workforce training, we're going to put all this energy towards the illegal immigrants, and we're going to go tax the wealthy people and put all this money into NGOs, and our buddies that work in government are all going to get lots of money and paychecks. I mean, the lieutenant governor, I was going to say the vice governor. The lieutenant governor is now collecting 2 paychecks from the state of Colorado. Perfect example of that. So, in Democrat control, illegal immigrants get prioritized, government workers get prioritized, and the rest of us that are just hardworking Americans get deprioritized. That was part of Donald Trump's speech yesterday, and that's why he's sending money to the troops as well to showcase who he's prioritizing. It's now America first, baby. Not your friends in government, not illegal immigrants. America first. That's why people love him.
Yeah, and that's why this loop can't work, because the major growth, if it is the government that was growing so big and so fast, it couldn't be the illegal immigrants that are growing the government that way. But if it was the illegal immigrants that were coming here, they'd have to mostly be paid under the table, and that wouldn't be reflected in the data, so we wouldn't see that in the job growth. And then really this is just all about blaming Biden. And that's really what it is. I mean, Donald Trump opened last night. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess. You got to blame the other guy. I'm wondering at what point he takes responsibility, because we started off with, I'm going to lower prices on day one. Well, and then I heard it's only been 3 months, give him time. It's only been 6 months, give him time. Only been 9 months, give him time. Only been 11 months, give him time. When does his responsibility kick in? And if you were responsible for it in the first 11 months, that means that,
let's just go visit a gas station. I'll show you the exact impact that Donald Trump's having. All right, give us a call.
The one thing you can point to. That's OPEC.
I can show you a whole bunch of charts. He had charts all throughout his speech
charts
yesterday.
Were bogus. Just like his Gulf of America chart thing. Bogus, too.
The conversation is hot. The debate is hot. Join us, 303-696-1971. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS. Did another mayor steal Mikey Johnson's spotlight?